breathe in the air, the light that surrounds me. If we hold ourselves together, we'll go far. Created a space, in my head it was empty, but I know that I want to be where you are. I was denied. I had spent those years, did not recognize the person that's inside. We have a purpose, but to take that leap, you must recognize the person that's inside. Believe me, I swear, the story's not over. As I fall, I will continue to get up. I cannot stop because it is over. Live in the moment, living in a quiet place. To be everywhere, to be without a care. I was denied. I had spent those years, did not recognize the person that's inside. We have a purpose, but to take that leap, you must recognize the person that's inside.
rages around like an ocean in my head. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, know I'll find you in my dreams. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another AFR broadcast. Today we are coming to you live from Suzuka, Japan, for another round in the Tier 1 AFR Championship. As usual, I am Kunai Zero, and with me is C Carrot.
Pleasure as always.
Okay, so let's have a quick look at the updated standings. So Revo is currently your championship leader after Pacey's no-show last week. Revo went on to take home the points, and that's put him on 273, so he's currently 18 points ahead of Pacey, who is in second in the Mercedes, and Pacey's teammate Seb is in third place with 215. If we have a look at the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes is away with it at the moment with 470 points combined, with Racing Point just behind on 318, and Renault is in third place with 201 points. So,
yeah, the fight for third in the teams is the big battle now. Who one's up for grabs?
So we've got a very good, very healthy championship right now, but if things keep going the way they're going, Revo might have quite a walk away here in Japan, because then there'll only be, 3 races left. That'll be Coda, Sao Paulo, and Abu Dhabi, if I've done my...
Yeah, sounds right to me.
Yes.
So it doesn't look like we'll have Pacey again tonight. So big chance here for Revo to put that gap to an almost insurmountable lead. And early on here, Seb and Apollo have retired from the session, so without setting a lap. So I think it's just an internet issue, but
Hopefully they'll be able to rectify
hopefully
that.
they can jump back in.
Pepsi and Seb have qualification bans.
That'll explain that then. Yeah.
Right, okay. Oh, wait, hold on. That makes sense because Apollo...
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
The McLaren incident. The incident. Air quotation marks. That's correct. Yes. Okay. So that makes a little bit more sense. Couple of things in the chat. Does Pacey not race anymore? He does. However, I'm not sure what exactly is his situation the past couple of weeks, but he just hasn't been here for the races. And why is Mikau on wets? Because that's how Mikau rolls.
He's actually on the softs. It's just a visual bug on your side.
Is it?
Yeah, he's on softs on my screen. On my telemetry, he's on
Right.
softs.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So he is. You can see there he is on softs, but for some reason it's.
Just the masters of code. They hit you every night with something new. You never know what you're gonna get.
All right. So let's jump on board with Revo, who's. Let's see. Ooh, something's going on weird with the camera there. Okay, so he's making his way around the track now. I think he'll be on a flying lap. Let's have a look here if we can switch on board. He comes down now through the hairpin. So we've got 17 drivers in today's lobby, so there should be one hell of a race. Suzuka, well known for creating some pretty awesome moments. So hopefully with such a large grid, we will see some very, very good racing. As Revo is just finishing through Sector 2 now. As he makes his way down to 130R. Let's have a look here. Is it flat? Pretty much.
Gus had a blistering lap that time around. So that's good stuff from him.
So Gus with a 128.6 currently in provisional pole. Greeny with a 129.5. That's pretty good from the Renault. Revo comes across with a 128.5 as expected. So he'll take that there. He'll take provisional pole now. He's on the medium tyre as well. So that just shows you the class of driver that he is. Flyboy with a 129.6 in fourth. Nut came across with a 129.8. That puts him in fifth. Saxa with a 130. And that put him in seventh. Matsuo just came across there with a 129. That put him in fourth. Bandcamp with a 128.8, putting himself in third position. As we're seeing more and more people come across now. Mikau 129.2 in sixth. Wahid 129.1 puts himself in fifth. And we're still waiting for 5 other drivers. Let's jump on board with Major Payne as he's going around on his outlap. So we're seeing some pretty good times here. Of course, a 128.5 from Revo on the medium tyre. That's a bit... Oh, hold on. Flyboy, 5 grid pace penalties, just collided with Saxa.
Yeah, I was just having a look. He's spun off into the dirt, so that didn't go well at all. Didn't leave each other any room.
Oh, no. Okay, so...
Sax is struggling to get back on track. He's doing donuts in the grass now. Those tyres are cooked.
Oh, Sax is retired from the session, so he'll have a 130.0. Flyboy, he'll want to hope that he can punch higher up in the grid because he's got 5 grid place penalty for that collision.
Yeah, that doesn't help his run at all. He's been struggling of late, keeping up with his teammate. That's not the start he wanted.
No, it's not. Okay, so Major Pay now on his flying lap as he makes his way through Snake. And up into banked corner. And then down towards the 2 Degner corners. So through all the gears there. Ooh, using a lot of curb. Goes through Degner 2 now under the bridge. Then up through the gears on his way to the hairpin. You'll want to try and keep it nice and tight here so we can get a better exit. So you come out into 200R, the lesser of the 2 known corners. And you've got a massive turn into Spoon. Keeps it nice and tight there, uses all the track. So this will put him through. Now onto the back stretch into 130R. Let's have a look at his Sector 3 time. What are we looking at? A 114.3. Holds it nice and flat. And he comes down into the Casio triangle, down through the gears. Oof, Jesus. Put the whole middle of his car over that apex. We'll see how it goes through as he comes around on to the DRS and across the line. Sets a 131.5. That'll put him in 14th. And it's, he is on the hard compound, so a little bit expected. So who are we still waiting on? Potsy to finish his lap as he comes under that Fanatec bridge.
CRX is bailed out of the session as well. It was on a personal best lap too, so I'm not exactly sure what happened there.
Potsy having a little bit of lag there, you could see. As kind of silly to have 2 different speedos. Alright, Jacob, so I'll tell you why I'm doing it that way. Because if I go onto broadcast cam and I turn off the bottom speedo, you can't see how fast the cars are going. And the Halo HUD doesn't have ERS on the HUD. So I feel like if I do it this way, it might look a little bit silly, but let's admit the Halo HUD looks nice. And when I go into broadcast, you guys will still have speed, ERS, and all that type of telemetry. So it's a nice little balance of both. Alright, so
unfortunately the normal speedo is hidden if in a couple of menus more than one click, so you can't just macro it out of the way easily when you change camera view.
Hopefully this will be fixed with F1 2020 and it'll be the most perfect game ever. But I'm not holding my breath. Okay,
on that one.
So 9 minutes 33 left in this qualifying session. Revo still on pole with a 128.5 on that medium compound. Gus Rules with a 128.6. That puts him in second. Bandcamp with a 128.8. And he'll take up third with Matt Zoid in the Red Bull, 129.0. He'll hold on to the second place on the second position of the grid. Wahid there in fifth.
On a set of softs now, he's well up. He's setting purple sectors now, as you'd expect. So he might get into the 127s on this lap.
Alright, so as he punches it down up into Spoon Curve. There we go. Keeps it nice and tight there, using both of the strips. Then hits that back stretch. Nice and fluid. He might even get a sneaky little toe here. Let's have a look as he does. Gets the toe off Potsy. Gets that little extra kph as he moves now through 130R.
It's going to be a blistering lap, this one. Purple both sectors so far.
Alright, so he'll come across there with a 127.4. 1.1 seconds up on his time. Revo is in such a crazy little league of his own. I mean, just on raw skill. But the benefit, of course, with with this league is that you have moments like Singapore, where of course Seb managed to hold out on him and take the win.
Well, Revo's left the session, so he's clearly happy with what he's done.
Oh, he just rejoined. I don't know what happened there. That's all right. So Revo's in the pits now. He will stay in provisional pole with a 1:27.4. As we see some of the other guys try to improve on their times. You can see Gus making his way around the track now as he hits the back stretch. Let's jump on board as he makes his way into 130R.
He's about 3/10 down on Revo at the moment.
Okay, so he is up on his time by almost 2/10. So there will be an improvement, but it won't be enough to secure that top position. So hopefully he'll be able to use this to defend from Bandcamp and hold in second. He'll cross the line now with a 1:28.4, which is a fast time in its own right, but it won't be enough to take first. So he'll stay second.
ERS gave up on him there in the last chicane, which hurt him on the home straight.
So it looks like Band's going for a double flying lap. Not sure about that one. We'll see.
Wait for the sector times to update. Doesn't look like he's improving, but we'll see once he hits his first sector mark.
No, he's on a slow lap. That was 2.4 seconds. That's okay. So who else we got? Revo's on an outlap again. How about we watch someone down here? Let's go on with combined YouTuber on the Haas, who immediately, as I switch to him, pulls over. So he lets one of the Red Bulls through. Very nice. So we'll see how he pans out after he finishes his outlap. Currently in 11th. His teammate Potsy in 13th.
Yeah, Jake Saxa had a incident. He crashed into, who was it? Flyboy, was it?
I think it was Flyboy and Saxa had an incident. Yeah. Flyboy got a grid place penalty. Saxa is out of the race. CRX, from what I understand, has crashed on his own.
Yeah.
That's why he's out of the session. Apollo and Seb both have qualifying bans as per incidents that occurred in Russia. Okay, so combined now, going through the Casio triangle, ready to start his flying lap. We'll jump on board as he crosses the DRS there. Down the main straight, we'll see how much he can improve. Holding nice speed through there as Mick out, jumps out of the way. Punching the car through Snake. Nice sets of bagged corners. Lotus staying on the side of the track. Combined doing a good job there to hold traction. Can get pretty loose through that section of corners. So now he goes into the Degner corner. That's Degner 1. Down through the gears. Up into Degner 2 under the bridge. And punching it all the way up into the hairpin, where you'll start to put increased load on that front left tyre as you make your way up the hill. And up through the gearbox again. As you go into that long right curve into Spoon.
Ooh, Revo just got a hell of a toe of major pain up the back straight. He's going to improve again this lap.
We'll see how quick as
Purple
combined
both sectors.
hits that back straight. You'll see him probably hit around the 315 kilometres an hour. As he hits 130R, does he keep it flat? No, he backs off a little bit. Revo with a 127.1. God, almost with a 127 flat. So he'll definitely keep on pole at this rate. Let's see if Combined can make any sort of improvement. As he hits that DRS, and it'll come across the line. It'll be a 129.0. And that has put him into 7th position.
Pretty happy with that, I think, at this stage. I'll hope to smash himself into the 128. He might have one more lap to do it.
Potsy also improved his time. He's jumped up into 8th position, so it looks like both the Haas drivers will be starting side by side. That'll look good for them.
Oh, it's a cause for concern.
A little bit. Mini Shrimp, everyone keeps giving Revo a toe. Actually, I don't think it's that everyone keeps giving Revo a toe. I think it's that Revo is so strategic that he chooses the exact moment when he goes out so he can get a toe.
Yeah, he just keep running into cars on that last straight, perfectly timed. The last one was Major Payne, so maybe team orders came into it. He gave him a hand, might return the favour. But yeah, I think the first one on Posse was just sheer luck.
Got a yellow flag there as one of the racing points pulls over. Not to ruin Flyboy's outlap, but I mean that's not the important one. So Flyboy, of course, with a 5 grid place penalty, so he'll have to pull some miracle level stuff as he comes through here now, because he'll want to get as high up on the starting grid as possible to try and negate some of the positions that he'll lose. Let's have a look here. We'll keep an eye on those sector times closely. Pretty good control here from the Ferrari. Using the curbs nicely. The car's not getting unsettled. That's going to be good. Minimise the amount of speed scrubbed as you go from left to right with the transfer. Let's have a look. Ooh, 4/10. That's pretty good. So that's going to put him in line with the Haas drivers. Let's see if he can maintain this pace as he moves his way into the hairpin, down through the gears. Very hard. Uses a lot of that apex. Got to watch the temperature on that front left. Mikau on the side of the track. He'll move. That's good. Flyboy now making his way up to Spoon. He'll hit 310 before he takes that left. Nice little kick. Just a small gearbox change there. Oh, gets a little bit of a wrestle, but he keeps it off the grass. So hopefully his speed will be maintained. Now he'll punch it all the way till he hits 130R, and we'll see if he'll hold that speed. Yeah.
That was not a good sector for him.
Blinks it just a little bit.
4/10 down on that sector. Cancelled out his good first sector. We'll see what he gets across the line.
129.2, so that'll put him... It'll keep him in 9th.
By just a 10th.
Yeah, so it looks like he had quite a bad middle sector.
Yeah, getting loose on that corner, as you mentioned, just ruined his run down the back straight. Cost a few K an hour.
So, qualifying coming to a close. 23 seconds left on the clock as Bandcamp comes across the line for his flying lap. So we'll jump on board with the Renault driver, currently in 4th. Let's see if he can squeeze out Matzoid for that 3rd position, or even better, try and get up there into 2nd. He's got to make, 3/10? Give or take about 3/10 to make it up to 2nd position. He's only going to make 1/10 better to take 3rd. But Matzoid and Gus Rules are also on flying laps just behind Bandcamp, so it'll be quite a crazy run to the end. So we'll keep an eye on it. All right, so Bandcamp's going to come through Sector 1 soon. So he's beating it by 1/10. So there'll be a slight improvement. Matzoid has retired, however, so he'll stay there with his 128.6.
Gus improved by 1/2 as well, so fine margins. I think that pole position's safe at this point.
Let's have a look. So Revo's probably going to take pole, no problems. So now it'll be a battle between Band and Gus. We'll see if Bandcamp can make the improvement on Matzoid. Matzoid did retire with a 128.6, so Bandcamp only has to make that 1/10 improvement, and he will be in 3rd. But let's see if he can make it to 2nd now as he punches his way down that backstretch towards 130R. Let's have a look at this sector time. He is down by 1/10, so it's still only 1/10.
Well, this is going to be borderline. It's going to be less than a 10th between these two.
Here we go through the Casio triangle. Band keeping up decent speed. What does he cross? He needs a 128.5. Crosses. Oh. I don't know what that was.
Gus.
He does. He takes 3rd. So Gus improves slightly. Bandcamp does manage to make the improvement there, but not enough to take 2nd. So he will take 3rd. There it is with a 128.4 there. So not a bad qualifying session from everyone. So Revo with a 127.1. He'll take pole. Gus Rules with a 128.0 to take 2nd. Bandcamp with a 128.4 to take 3rd. Matzoid getting relegated down by 1 position there with a 128.6. But that also means that Mikau, his teammate, will be starting just behind him with a 128.7. Wahid in the Toro Rosso with a 128.9. And then Greeny and Combined make up 7th and 8th there, 128.9 and a 129 respectively. An unfortunate qualifying there for Apollo and Seb, of course, with the qualifying ban, so they weren't allowed to compete. So they'll have to start from the back of the grid and climb their way through, which might be an issue for Seb, especially if he does have internet issues. That's not going to be easy for him.
Yeah, free tyre choice though, which helps a little bit. But that'll be one to watch, especially seeing him try and go through some of the slower cars. It'll also be fun to watch Band and Gus fight it out. In second, two very feisty drivers.
Yeah, we should be in for quite a good race. We've got a nice grid size. And, of course, we are on Japan, which is nice and technical, but you do have a lot of those fast sections. So, if the gaps manage to stay relatively close, you're going to see a lot of fighting, especially on the back stretch and the main straight on the way to first corner.
Easy to make just a tiny mistake and cost yourself a few tenths, so you should see some overtakes tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Mini Shroom, is it soft to medium? I believe so. I do believe it is a soft to medium. Japan is one of those tracks where your tyres can hold on for a decent amount. So I think it will be a soft to medium, or it'll be soft to hard. But I don't think so. I don't think hard works on Suzuka too well.
Yeah, I think the medium would last long enough for it to not be needed. We saw a couple of guys qualify on mediums just then. I think Major Payne did. So I think he just qualified outside the top 10 though, so you'll have a fresh set.
So we're just waiting on all the drivers to finalise their setups, get everything ready. And of course they'll be off on their formation lap to try and get temps in the tyres, work out any small kinks. And of course for a regrid. And then we'll be off. Now, I don't know if any of you remember our 100% race here at Suzuka, but let's see if we can avoid the 4-wide first corner entry. That didn't. That's great for us to watch, but not so much for the drivers. So we'll see if we can improve on that slightly. Having said that, though, the 100% race was very, very entertaining here at Suzuka. So hopefully we'll see good racing from both Tier 1 and, of course, Tier 2, which will happen later tonight after our Tier 1 session is over. All right, so let's get ourselves set up as the formation lap is underway. So 27 laps here at Suzuka. No typhoon, obviously. We turn that off. Oh, that would be such an awesome weather event, but just want to put that out there. F1 2020 game, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, by the way, qualifying has been moved to Sunday morning because there is a super typhoon on the way.
Even if they added in wind, so you had headwinds and tailwinds and stuff like that, be interesting as hell.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how Codemasters does improve on the F1 formula. You have to admit, right, as many faults as 2019 has, I still feel like of the past 5-6 years, it is the best in terms of driving, obviously graphics and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, it's also hard to tell. The driving model changes every year, just like it does in real life, so it's hard to compare them. So yeah. It's definitely the best of the Halo era, for sure.
Oof, Jesus Christ, Revo. He pushes
He's already built that 1.3 second lead on the formation lap.
Yeah, to him. I'm gonna just nickname him Sonic, because it's like he can't. Gotta go fast. It's just. But see, Revo, the problem with driving at the speed of light is you're surrounded by darkness. Yeah, so that's some philosophical quotes for you guys.
We'll see if Gus and Band are willing to go for a dive bomb early, because it might be their only shot. Get in front of him as he takes out a bollard to the chicane.
Get it in nice and early so you don't get a warning for corner cutting. I see you there. All right, so Jake and Meister nearly all outside top 10 running mediums. Yeah, they'll obviously be thinking that the overcut will work better when you're so far back. So All right, here we go. So everybody is starting to grid up. Saxa, of course, at the back there. After an unfortunate incident with Flyboy. So now we're just getting ready for everyone to form up. There we go. Okay, so the lights will kick off soon. I hate it when the lag kicks in because you never know when it's about to take off. And this like floaty camera. What is this?
Yeah.
The guy came to work.
Looking through an old wire fence at the moment. It's shocking.
So we'll try and keep an eye on this, the middle section of this group, because turn 1 tends to be quite chaotic. As we're still waiting on the lights to go off. God, I hope someone didn't disconnect just now.
There's a couple of bouncy cars.
Yeah, look at this crowd. I want the positivity of this crowd, except that one dude in brown there. You can see he's turning around like, guys, if we could just start, that'd be great.
All that work heating up the tyres is all gone to waste.
Get yourself a partner that's as enthusiastic as this crowd. Literally nothing is happening and they're all fist bumping.
Looking at the telemetry, Revo's tyres are down to the 50-degree mark, so...
This is a good race. I have to admit.
This will be an absolute disaster, even if they do get a look.
Maybe this is one of those experimental races where they like change up some things just in preparation for 2021. And instead of having lights, right, it's just a full game of Simon Says. So instead of the lights counting down, there's just a guy with a flag, and he just at random he just boom. Oh, there it is. Okay, so Potsy had a disconnect there. That's what caused everybody to have that lag. But here we go. Everybody's off now. They're making their way down into turn 1. Revo with a nice little lead. And we might have some issues here as they all come through that turn 1. Everybody seems to have done it okay. I'm just shifting through all the cameras. Potsy, of course, has ghosted, which will mean combined will probably get past him. No worries. But so far into Snake, and we have no incidents.
Just Mickey House dropped a couple of spots, but nothing dirty in it.
So Flyboy's down there in 14th. Revo, nice in the lead. Did I just see someone spin?
You have, yes. We've got a Williams in the wall. We got CRX.
That was CRX. CRX in the wall there. Okay, so an unfortunate start for him, but it doesn't look like he has any damage. Oh, he's got a left front wing end plate damage.
Yeah, so he'll have to come in and change that. You need aero around here, or he'll do that exact same spin out again.
So Seb made the overtake there on Saxa. Looks like he's going to do the same with Flyboy. Yep, he'll go up on the outside as Flyboy locks up that front tyre. Saxa's now in a prime position to try and jump the Alfa Romeo. So Seb, of course, going to have to do incredible work as he works his way from the back of the grid. Potsy has now rejoined, so that's pretty good. But if he rejoins right now, he will rejoin in the middle of Nut, which would, of course, just be, prophetic as hell. As Revo sets the fastest lap, of course. Getting in front. Get all
Gus
that nice
is right on his tail, though, so within tow range.
Let's jump up a couple of positions here. So Gus, 0.2, Matt Zoid, 0.1. Bandcamp also very, very close. Let's jump on board with Bandcamp. And we'll have a look. CRX with a 5-second penalty. Oh, God. So he crashes out early on in the race, and when he goes to the pits, forgets to slow down enough, and now he'll have a 5-second penalty for his troubles. Not a great race for the Williams.
Yeah, well, at least he's in a Williams, so it's not going to be weird seeing him finish a minute behind, is it? Matt did well to get in front of Bandcamp. Didn't see where it happened, but it's a good scout to get early.
Yes, indeed. So Revo's already increasing that. Oh, looks like Nut has had an incident. Yes, he's off on the side of the track. Oh, wow. What a massive reverse. He backs up so hard, he smashes into the tyre wall at Degna 2. Luckily, I've never seen rear wing damage except for like a DRS failure. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Very lucky, but now he's got CRX within strike range. They'll need to change that wing.
Very unlucky there for Nut. Here we are on board with Seb as he'll go up on the outside of Lotus. He won't make it. There is contact. He's sandwiched in there. Those tyres are going to collide. He gets pushed into the middle. And there it is. Oh, and now Apollo comes through. Takes out What is going on? Seb!
Seb's out.
And hold on a minute. Seb gets given a 5-second penalty for a collision.
With the polo.
And Apollo gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh my god. Okay. It is lap 3. DRS is enabled. And already we have chaos right out of the gate. Oh man. AFR never fails to deliver.
Oh, Seb's left the session. Who knows if it's internet?
Not sure. I'm going to give him the benefit of doubt and say that it is internet, but he is, of course, in 16th position. So we'll see what ends up happening with him. He was in a great place. He was making his way through the grid, but then, of course, him and Lotus had a little bit of elbows out. Lotus forced him out onto the Casio triangle. He went to the left side of the track, spun him around, and then as he's trying to come straight, Apollo collects him, and then the game says, "Well, you shouldn't have been in the middle of the road. You get a 5-second penalty."
That's what happens when you get the quali ban. You're back with the nonsense in the backfield, and suddenly it's tough playing the midfield game.
Seb didn't really get a car width back there. You are 100% correct there, Connolly. He did not. Lotus should have given a lot more space there, but we know how it is when you're in the heat of the moment and driving and this and that. Sometimes you make mistakes. Unfortunately, that did cost Seb a ton of positions and some damage for his troubles, which isn't great, but I'm sure he'll be able to bring that up with the stewards, and we'll see some form of reparation as we're in lap 4 now. Revo 2.3 seconds ahead as Gus Rules trying his best to try and claw that back. Matt Zoid 0.6 behind Gus Rules there in the Red Bull. Bandcamp 0.3. The closest gap so far will be between, looks like Flyboy and Saxa. Flyboy hovering around that 0.4 mark. So far, everybody seems to be pretty tight-knit. Let's jump up one. Jump on board with Bandcamp here.
Yeah, Revo's just managed to pull that 3-second gap out to Gus now, so barring anything crazy, should be okay. Ben, Matt and Gus forming a nice little tow train down this back straight.
Nut gets a 3-second time penalty at the back. Let's jump on board as Flyboy. He's doing his best to try and catch up to this Alpha. Seb rejoins the session. So hopefully he'll be able to make something back at least. Here we go. So Flyboy, he'll be punching up through all of those gears, trying to catch that Alpha before 130R. And then, of course, into the Casio triangle. He has to be careful, though, because he's got to make a choice. Sooner rather than later, he backs off. He takes a safer approach. Let's have a look here. As they come into that triangle, Saxa will keep that position. Flyboy with no choice. He will have to back off. And he'll look for another way round. Oh, he's drifting! Oh, he captures it, though. Oh, Flyboy. Great job there. Getting lessons from his Tier 2 buddy, Red Panda. Holding on there. Jesus. Very, very close.
That bump, that fake bump got him.
Alright, so Sax has managed to bring up the gap behind Lotus to 0.4, so it looks like there's a pretty even train here. All battling for 12th and 13th. Lotus
is sort of backing off a bit. They're a little bit slow as Flyboy runs out into the grass. That'll cost him a good second. He's lucky to hold it there.
Alright, so got a pretty decent race so far. Had a couple of little upsets. Seb, of course, in 17th on the hard compound. 7.5 seconds behind that Williams. He's going to have to do quite a lot of work to get sort of any positions. It's unfortunate, but it is racing. Okay, so Sax has managed to close up this gap pretty well. Currently in those threes.
Definitely holding them both up, so they want to get the jump on him.
You can see
Sax might
Flyboy
find himself get jumped here.
Got a sector 1 yellow flag. Looks like Greeny. Mikau and Greeny have had a little bit of it. Seb's managed to make that position at the back there.
CRX has had a spin, exact same spot again, touched the dirt, and lost an end plate
again. You can see Flyboy had a ton of grass on that tyre. It's caused it to lock up. But Sax has also made a little bit of a mistake. You see that little bump there?
Did Revo just leave the session?
I think so.
He did. Okie dokie. Well, we'll see what his AI can do, but Now
Oh, Jesus! Okay, I was not prepared for that camera change. Woo! Okay. So, you can see the Ferrari come straight over that corner camera. Woo, boy! Alright, so Saxa manages to drop a position. Flyboy takes it. He'll now be in 12th. So, not sure what happened there with Revo, of course. Probably some form of internet issue. Hopefully he'll be able to join. But this does give Gus Rules a pretty good chance
Gus has already taken a second out of that.
to make up that 2.2 gap. Alright, let's keep an eye on this. Nut is in the pits. So let's jump up a couple of positions. Let's go on board with combined YouTuber in the Haas. Him and his teammate currently saw next to each other. Potsy 1.4 seconds behind him. Combined doing his best to chase down the Renault of Greeny.
Ben's about to try and make a move on Matt, I think. He's got a good toe. A little bit slower down that back straight, though, so that might be a setup thing. Matt seems to be a bit quicker top speed down the straight.
Polo Pepsi gets a 3-second time penalty there. A bit of a corner cut. So we can see Combined coming up onto the back of Greeny as well. That gap happened to blow out, so we see that. Flyboy at the back there. Oh, Gus Rules holding on Matoid like crazy. That's allowed Bandcamp to clamber up so much time in that first corner.
Matt is so quick on the straights. He really is, as Revo joins back in.
Alright, so the gap has shrunk from 2.8 to 1.6, but now that Revo's back in this driver's seat, I'm sure that will explode out again. So Bandcamp 0.6 now behind Matoid. He's doing everything he can. We've got Combined there, 0.5 behind Greeny. Flyboy's 0.3 behind Lotus. So he'll try and chase him down. So far, so good. We see a lot of good gaps here, especially from 7th to about 9th. Really good gaps there.
Yeah, a lot of battles starting to form. It's interesting watching Band's view on Matt. Band makes up so much ground on him through the corners and twisty stuff, but as soon as they start open throttle, Matt just pulls away, so his setup's definitely less draggy. He'll have a chance to catch Gus from getting a good exit. And Revo is within tennis ball throw distance in front.
I'd like to petition to F1 that they install tennis ball launchers to the front of every F1 car.
Well,
And just like DRS,
yeah, why not?
they can launch tennis balls at each other if they're behind.
One way to throw a distraction out.
We just had a Sector 2 yellow flag. I don't see any massive increases or decreases there in the intervals. So CRX, hold on, CRX just got a 10-second time penalty for what?
3 seconds for corner cutting, I saw.
Jesus, what is happening to him?
Shit.
He had a 10-second there.
Yeah, he's
that's
retired.
definitely retire. Oh boy,
That's scream under your helmet lid type stuff for him. Not a good day.
just like
Started in quali and it got worse from there.
Daniel Ricciardo in that
Yeah.
change room.
Yes. Far out.
So Matoid has dropped quite a fair way back. He's now at the 1 second mark behind Gus, so not sure what happened there. As we've got a Sector 3 yellow flag currently. So Gus has managed to bring down the gap to Revo to 0.7. Okay.
Yeah, he's managed to pull another half a second off since Revo rejoined. Might be just struggling to find his rhythm again.
Alright, let's drop down a couple of positions here. Combined. Trying to make his way up past Greeny here. But he's got to pick his moment carefully because you don't want to have two cars in contact. Like what happened with Lotus and Seb.
I tell you what, that top four is all close enough now that an undercut would jump you a couple of positions, I think.
There we go. So Combined manages to make that position change as they make their way into the triangle. Look how heavy that bump is. Woof! Let's see if Greeny can make it back here by the end of the first corner. Combined moving away to break the toe. It looks like that Haas kept a lot better speed than the Renault. So he'll get away. 0.4 now, the gap between those two drivers. Have a look at Potsy. God, he came flying through that first section. And now Greeny is the cream in the Oreo that is the Haas drivers. That's not a place you want to be.
Stuck in the middle with you.
So Greeny 0.3 behind combined. Potsy 0.3 behind him. Oh, Greeny has to move over to the side. Potsy will get past. Yes, indeed. Okay, so both Haas drivers making up a position there. As Revo has now made that gap 1.3 seconds. He is definitely further now. He's starting to take strides after that disconnect. Saxon has just retired from the session. There's been an accident. Let's have a look. Can we see what's going on? No, I don't see any.
This might be internet. Oh, we've got a safety car.
We have a safety car. Okay, so Sax has had a fairly massive accident for a safety car to come out. I'm trying to see.
Shit, we've got Revo and Gus in the pits. We've got combined.
Where is he? Where on the track is this car? He just got a. Okay, so hold on. So Seb's about to pass him now. No, okay, so it's already ghosted off the track. But
what the fuck? What game are we watching?
No idea. Okay, so Sax's car is nowhere to be seen, but obviously there's been an accident heavy enough to call out a safety car.
Well, buggy enough, yeah. Because, I mean, it doesn't seem to go by heaviness. It just must be in a weird spot somewhere, but I can't even see the car. It's gone, so... The safety car is parked in front of Revo, who is in 5th at the moment. He lets him go past. Will it let Gus go past? Let Revo go past. But Gus is stuck behind the safety car. What the hell? They both hit. Oh no, now Gus goes, so pulled over for him.
Okay, so lap 10 of 27, and we have a safety car. This will cause that gap that Revo managed to make, and it'll sandwich it all the way down. So we're going to have another heavy battle on our hands from everyone. This might actually be the saving grace that Seb needed at the back there to try and make his way up the grid after that unfortunate incident.
Absolutely murdered Matt Band and Rahid's race, though, because they missed out on the pit, so now they're going to get overtaken by the whole field of mediums while they come in and throw their new tyres on.
See Matto there, tyres back on. Oh my god, what a rejoin! What a rejoin! Okay, Wahid gets put into the pit lane there. Now he'll be changing
down the straight. He's going to jump them all in the pit. Is Matt going to come out Oh, he's actually come out in 2nd. He's managed to stay in front of Gus, so the safety car didn't end up hurting him. I'm very surprised at that.
So that is everyone done. Where is this safety car?
It was in front of Revo, unless it just came in that lap.
No. Safety cars, they're still, the yellow flag still active. And you'd also see the safety car warning that's coming in this lap. So where is it?
Just about everyone off in front of it, so...
Oh, Greeny with a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Oh, that is a first. Oh, there's the Revo. There it is. Revo's just making his way up to the back of it now as it comes up into the hairpin.
How weird for that safety car to... I can't believe those guys that missed out on pitting on the first time around didn't actually get hurt by that. It's really strange. They've now got a lap fresher tyres. So usually it spills disaster, but it worked perfectly.
Okay, so I can't spectate from the... Which would be so cool if I could spectate from the safety car point of view. But as you can see, the grid is now starting to sandwich up. And of course, this puts a lot of power in Revo's hands because once a safety car is out on track, then all cars must sit behind it and nobody can overtake under yellow flag conditions. But when a safety car pulls in, it is up to the race leader to make the call to go, because you are not allowed to overtake until the start-finish line. So we'll have a look and see what he decides to do. It looks like the safety car is staying out for another lap. So we will have at least one more. Oh, man. Is this going to allow Apollo?
That's what I'm looking at. He's still 40 seconds off Flyboy, even though he's full throttle out there, but should start closing that gap. Bring Seb along with him. This really opens the door for Seb to get back into the points if he can close that gap up. But the interval's still staying out. 40 seconds.
Yeah, not sure what's going on with that. You would think with these cars moving so slow, that interval would be just reducing like crazy, but it doesn't seem like it's coming down at all.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on there. It's starting to drop now, but this safety car is actually going fairly quick. Not going as slow as you'd think they would be.
Wait a minute, Potsy just made an overtake?
He left the session and then rejoined and then left again.
Alright, so Apollo decides to go into the pits there.
I'll probably just pit for softs, okay. Alright.
He pit for softs at lap 12. Yeah? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Apollo's going to Apollo, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, okay, so you can see Seb now bringing down that gap. 20 seconds behind. We'll have to keep an eye out on this.
Was Apollo sandbagging Seb behind him?
Maybe.
And going slow as hell? Because Seb's taking 5 seconds out of that interval every 2 corners.
Jacob in the chat, Apollo's behind Nut now. Yeah. Yep.
Nice. Nut on the hards and Apollo on the softs, but I mean, you can't go with these softs to the end. Yeah, 15 laps on them.
Safety car in this lap. Okay, so safety car in this lap. Seb has managed to bring down that gap. He is now just behind Flyboy. Apollo still 15 seconds behind. So now, upon restart, it's going to be all on Revo. He is the one that gets to make the choice here. That's Wahid makes up a position at the back there. Obviously just a swap. Revo's really slowing up that grid. And here we go. Is he going to take off? And okay, so we are restarting this race as they cross that line. Revo doing whatever he can to make as much gap as possible. Matzoid in the Red Bull right up close. Let's have a look at these cars as they make their way through first corner. Potsy has rejoined. Major Payne makes it through okay. Lotus as well. Wahid as well. Potsy rejoining. He's still not in his car. Mikau goes around. Seb, 1.1 seconds behind Greeny. That safety car has put him in a really, really good spot. And he'll try and make his way through the grid as well. Apollo is still 12.9 seconds behind on the soft tyre. Nut in front of him on the hard compound. 1 second behind Flyboy there in 13th. So on the restart, pretty close gaps from everyone. Oh, someone goes off a little bit. That looks like Potsy there. Or maybe it was combined. It was combined as Greeny makes the overtake.
Yeah, Seb's definitely going to get held up by a couple of these cars. He's going to have to try and do this carefully and tiptoe through. Matt's hanging on the back of Revo. He's going to be within striking distance, but won't be DRS yet because it's first lap after. Just got to keep that under a second because he's so quick down the straights.
As you can see here, Mikau coming up close onto that sister team. Mikau and Lotus, both teammates. Sorry, Lotus and Wahid, rather. Very next to each other as Mikau in the...
Greeny's going to pull a move here and combine side by side down the straight. And with Seb up the middle of him. Oh!
He makes that overtake.
So they're about to go 3 wide into turn 1. Oh!
Seb makes the overtake there as Combines dropped a bunch of positions. Flyboy capitalizes on it as well.
Touched the grass and held him up like hitting a speed trap. Oh, he touches the dirt as well on the CRX corner. I'm going to name it. And he almost lost the back end of it.
We're going to name it we're going to name it the Honda CRX corner. No worries.
Well,
all right.
He did well to hold it.
Okay, so Mikau has left the session. Okay, everyone plagued with connection issues here as he was getting so close to the back of that Toro Rosso, but it looks like Potsy will now overtake. We've got a Sector 2 yellow flag. I can't see what's happening. We're currently in Sector 2. I don't see anything. It must be to do with the disconnect. But he makes the overtake there.
It was just ghosting through, so that might have been causing issues.
Alright, so Revo has made the gap slightly larger. 1.2 now. Gus Rules 0.5 behind Matzoid. Mikau has joined. Good to see. Bandcamp now 1.1 behind Gus Rules, so he'll just be out of DRS contention, but I don't think DRS has been enabled yet. There it is. Lap 15, DRS comes on. So now we'll be able to see some more intense movements.
Just too late for Matt to make a move on Revo, unfortunately.
Alright, so we can see Potsy here. He's getting a nice little toe. Is he going to go on the inside of that first corner? Oh, God, he goes way too hard. But luckily, enough runoff. He'll catch it, but he'll get overtaken by about 4 people. There goes Flyboy, and there goes Combine, his teammate. You could just see he kissed the side of the grass there, and it threw. He had to wrestle that, and he's so lucky that there was that tarmac runoff. Otherwise, he would have put it into that wall, and he would have put it into the wall hard. Okay, so he'll drop down to 13th.
Absolute hell of a whip crack. Did well to hold it. Would have hurt the old wrist. Seb's right up on Mikau, who is back in the session now. Might go for the dive bomb down the inside.
He'll go up on the inside of hairpin. There is contact between the two wheels, but it looks like it's okay. Mikau gets off second best as Seb makes his way into 8th. That safety car, an absolute miracle play for the Mercedes driver.
That was a straight up move, bitch. Get out the way move there. Keep getting Sector 1 yellow flags, but I got no idea why, because no one's even in Sector 1.
Yeah, it might be just another glitch because of the safety car. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Lotus now 0.2 behind Major Payne. We'll see if he'll be able to do anything with it. You can see those two Toro Rossos climbing up on the back of the racing point. Mikau in that Red Bull trying to chase down the Mercedes. Seb, I think, has a little bit of an advantage as they come in. Mikau is awfully close. So Wahid makes the overtake on his teammate. You can see combined side by side there with Flyboy. He's trying to do everything. Let's have a look on board. Will he be able to do anything coming in the first corner?
Hard because it's a DRS train.
Very fast. He's right up on the gearbox of Flyboy. You see a little bit of rubber banding happening.
I think that's Combine's end though. So.
Potsy DNFs.
Oh, far out he has too. And we've got a Ferrari. Gus Rules is in the wall on CRX corner.
There's Potsy on the side there. You can just see it on Apollo's cam. And Gus Rules has crashed as well. Let's have a look. As Apollo
corner got him.
Makes his way through.
There's big wing damage for Gus, so that's him pretty much out. Damn.
So yes, he's broken off the top section of the left front wing and the end plate as well. So he'll have some serious handling issues there. He'll have to come in. Oh, that corner is taking so many victims.
It's borderline, but he can probably jump on softs and go to the end for Gus.
Potsy leaves the session again. Have a look at this train right here. Mikau makes the overtake on Lotus. Oh my God, so many cars as they come down into 130R. Mikau goes out way wide. Flyboy just manages to keep in front of the Haas. Let's jump down a couple. We'll go on board and we'll have a look at all of this craziness. Lotus pulls out into the pit lane. Flyboy gets overtaken. He has DRS, however. Gus Rules gets a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. The handling way too hard. He must have screwed up there on the triangle.
Incoming retire from session. Rage quit, surely. It's all gone wrong for Gus.
Oh, man. Lap 17 of 27. We have 10 laps to go. And after that safety car restart, everything is turned on.
On CRX corner as well. This will get Seb up the inside.
Mikau.
And then switch back.
Oh, and he rejoins right in between. Mikau now, 0.7. So Wahid is sandwiched in between the two cars. He'll have to watch out because there'll be immense pressure coming from that Red Bull behind.
Oh, Seb's up into 4th from absolutely nowhere. Car's just dying left, right in front of him.
All right, so Zudix, what is going on? Give us a little recap. I will do this in the best way possible. Basically, there is a corner. I think, if I remember correctly, it is Dunlop corner, which we have now nicknamed to Honda CRX corner. It has taken about 4 victims. Now, if I remember correctly, Saxa had such a bad incident that we didn't see that a safety car came out on track. So we have had a safety car this race, which has meant that the entire grid has sandwiched together. And now after the restart, it restarted at what, lap 13 or 14. So Revo's managed to make his way ahead. You can see that he's 3 seconds ahead of Matzoid there. But in the middle section of the grid, it's been pandemonium. And then after that restart, a couple more cars went off on Dunlop Corner, which has caused a bunch of yellow flags. And it's also allowed Seb, who started this race at the back end of the grid due to a qualifying ban, he is now 4th. That safety car was the biggest blessing that Mercedes could have got. Of course, Pacey isn't here to represent Mercedes, so there's no points from him. But Seb has made his way into 4th position.
Violent corner coke by Wahid there, trying to keep up with Seb. Do it the dirty way. Yeah, Seb is Lewis Hamilton blessed tonight.
Hamilton, still I rise. Okay, so this race has given us everything and more. We are on lap 18. As we can see here, as we look at the intervals, Revo 3.8 behind, in front of Matzoid. Matzoid is 3.9 behind him. Bandcamp 2 seconds behind that Red Bull. Seb 7.9 seconds, but it's counting down. They're on about the same amount of tyre deg, 8 laps of course, instead of band 7, but at mediums it doesn't really matter. Wahid 1.1 seconds behind Seb. Mikau trying to chase him down. He's less than a tenth as Wahid goes a little bit wide. It might mean that the Red Bull... Oh, let's have a look. He has DRS on this main straight. We'll swap down to Wahid. He'll definitely lose out. And now Greeny's making his way down, but he didn't have any DRS coming in, so he's not going to close it as fast as he'd like. So that's going to allow Mikau to jump up 1 position. He's now in 5th.
So Seb was 6 tenths faster than Band that last lap. So keeps up at that rate, he'll be certainly within striking distance before the end of the race.
And we have seen some great driving from Mikau. He does pull out some exemplary stuff when he wants to. I think the first time we saw him was at Imola, and he had a bit of a rough qualifying race, but you can see he's massively improved, currently sitting 5th. Wahid trying to chase him down, but I don't think he can. I think the Red Bull's got, to put it in a term, more wings.
Yeah, well, it's like Matt just has such a great straight line setup. The guys behind him, they can close the gap up in the corners, but they can't touch him down the straight.
All right, so here comes Greeny. Point 2 gets a really great exit here on Spoon Curve. Wahid gets a little bit of sideways action. He'll scrub some speed. Now they're going to come down on that back stretch. This Renault, it's going to do everything it can. Can it keep up with this Toro Rosso? It's front wheel to rear wheel as they come in at 130. Oh, no, he falls back in line. He'll try and get a small little toe as they come into that triangle. So down hard on the brakes, through the gears, hits that apex there. But it looks like Greeny got off second best. Wahid goes through. Here comes that massive bump. All right, so now they're on the main straight. Both Wahid and Greeny have DRS. So it doesn't look like he's going to be able to catch him anytime soon. But it'll at least stay behind. So Wahid trying to do everything to catch up to that Toro Rosso, but he still keeps him in front. Point 2 is the gap.
Yeah, where he took that final chicane much better that lap, which didn't leave the door open for him. Come up through CRX corner. Nice and safe. Don't go near those curbs. Pull you out.
All right, so Revo, lap 20, 6.9 seconds ahead. So unless there's another safety car, it looks like he'll probably keep this. Band 1.9 behind Matzoid, so he'll try. Let's see if he can bring that down at all. Seb 6.1 seconds. I think that's still floating. Mikau 4.5, so he's actually blown out a little bit. As you can see, quite a battle here. 7th, 8th and 9th, all under that 1 second mark. Oh, it looks like he's going to go side by side. Here we go, on board. So now Greeny's trying to chase down Wahid in the Toro. Combine's trying to chase down Greeny. They're all going to come flat stick as they move into that triangle. So we'll see how it all pans out as they come around the sharp right-left chicane. Down through the bump. Okay, here we are in the DRS zone. So, Nice green triangle. All the way down. What are the intervals going to say? Man, Mikau has got some serious speed. He keeps the gap at 0.2 in a DRS zone.
Yeah, those Red Bulls are really not very draggy tonight.
All right, so Apollo just made the overtake there on Nut at the back. Looks to be clean. So hopefully no yelling in the McLaren garage today.
Nuts Hard's just up to scratch. He's the only car doing 134s. Everyone else is in the 132s or very low 33s. So Major Payne will be within striking distance any time now.
So Nut tries to bet on the fact that the hards would last until the end. I don't know if the tyre deg's going to hit Apollo. It will hit Apollo before.
Well, the problem for Nut is he pitted for those hards a couple of laps for the safety car, I think, just before him. So that really ruined his race, unfortunately.
Alright, so Flyboy with the 3-second time penalty there. Multiple warnings. So he'll get hit again. He currently on the back of that train there in the middle section of the grid. Revo's now blown out his lead to 8 seconds.
All his tyres are actually lasting fairly well after 9 laps, so only just hit 34% on the rears. So it'll be close, but he should be able to get another 5 laps out of it. I don't know how they've lasted so long, but he's been pretty easy on it.
Down through first corner. Have a look at how close Flyboy got to the back of that arse. He's carrying so much more speed than combined in that first section. Here they come up into Honda CRX corner. Oh, he's sideways! There's contact! Flyboy has hit the back of the Haas and they're both off the track. I can't see any damage. I think there's just been a spin. Combined coming out second best there. Flyboy, he's trying to keep the traction, but it spins off again. Oh my God.
Oh, CRX corner.
Okay, so let's be real though. That had nothing to do with the corner. Flyboy was so much faster than Combined coming in. It looks like he couldn't get the brakes on hard enough. He's collided into the rear, of Combined. It's caused both of them to spin out. Combined got worse off. He was up stuck in the gravel trap. He's made his way out, and as he's done that, Flyboy's rejoined, had so much debris on the tyres that he tried to wrestle it, and he is so lucky to have stopped in the gravel. I honestly thought
he... for the Ferraris tonight.
Grazie, grande macchina. Oh, man. Okay, so Combined got overtaken by a bunch of people there, but have a look at this. He's right on the back of Nut. They make their way through. Okay, so Wahid makes the overtake there on Mikau. Good job there from the Toro Rosso.
Side by side, Mikau gives him the old give-ho squeeze.
Okay, so Mikau's taking it back. They're coming through Snake now, up into that infamous CRX corner.
Oh, what a corner it is. We just need cameras plastered all over it.
So Gus Rules makes an overtake there at the back on Lotus. Have a look at Greeny, 0.3 rather, behind Wahid. Lap 23 or 27, so we have 4 laps to go.
We have 2 Ferraris in the back markers. Now these two aren't completely opposed to making a meal of it and not go to overtake each other either, so Flyboy's going to let him pass, probably smart after that last little incident. And doing so, Lotus gets through on him too. I don't think that was intended. The Flyboy's incident there with Combined sent him back to last.
Right, so Jacob Buster pointing out that Seb might just catch banned here. If we have a look at that interval, it's 3.2, which is definitely possible within 3 laps now as Revo comes across the line to set that off.
Seb was 8/10 faster last lap, so as I said a few laps ago, keeps that distance up. He'll be well within striking range for a lap or 2 to go.
So let's have a look at these gaps. Revo is now at an 11.3 second lead. Seriously, I put out a disclaimer to the entirety of Australia. for the love of God, someone jump into AFR and knock Revo down a peg. And I don't do it just because, just for but Revo needs serious competition, because unless it's a strategy call or you have some form of incident, he just takes it away. And I mean, that obviously it comes down to practice and things like that. And Revo, of course, puts in a lot more practice than anyone here, and the results show for it. But I just want to see Revo fighting for contention. Give me another Singapore.
Everyone have equal cars except for Revo's and Formula Williams. And
No. That's too much. That's way too much. It'd be interesting, but it's too much. We've got another sector 1 yellow flag.
I don't know how he does it, because when I see guys like Band and Seb and co, they're so quick. Yeah, he still manages to be a level above even them.
Seb has now brought that. Seb's brought that gap down to 1.8.
One more lap until he'll be within that DRS, I think.
Let's jump up with Wahid. Have a look at him. He is side by side now. He'll overtake Mick out. Good job there from the Toro Rosso, but I can't imagine the Red Bull's going to have it. Let him have it for too long.
Combine's going to make a move on Nut here too. Into corner 1.
Goes up on the inside. Woo! Close overtake there, but he makes it work. 8th position now for Combined.
Oh no, you wouldn't read about it now. The McLaren's right behind each other again.
Major Payne only 3.3 behind that McLaren of Apollo. Seb now brought it down a little bit more, 1.3.
Seb set personal best sectors, so he's pushing. Band's having to use his ERS just to keep that gap.
You can see how close Major Payne is right on the back of that McLaren. See if he can make it work here through Spoon. Ooh, gets a much better exit. Have a look at that. He's encroached the gap now. All the way. Now he's going to have a full sprint towards 130R. Apollo finding a little bit of boost there. Have a look at that. He's closing it up so fast. Have a look at this. What's he going to do? Makes the overtake nice and clean.
Oh, and then Apollo 5 seconds for exceeding track limits.
Oh no. Okay.
That's huge, Ben.
We're going to have to stop the presses for a little bit, because it is lap 26-27, and Seb has got it down to 0.4 of a gap. And have a look at this, Apollo side by side with Major Payne as they come through first corner. Major Payne holds it off though. So that's a battle for 10th there. Apollo almost getting him up on first. Ooh, Jesus, goes a little bit too much on the grass. Watch yourself.
Apollo's tyres at 50%, so they're not exactly going to be any quicker now than Payne.
How much on the grass? Oh, whoa.
That was crazy.
He was so on the grass there. Okay. All right, so let's jump up a couple of positions, because Seb is awfully close to the back of that Renault as Revo's gone across the line to tick off lap 27. Seb needs to watch out. He's gone way too far on the outside. Bandcamp, master of defense, holds that position. Seb's going to have to do everything he can on this last lap. Here we go into the DRS zone. Down that main straight. He's going to put everything he can into this Mercedes. Have a look. It's closing up. Bandcamp goes on the inside. He'll decide to hold that inside line as they go in the first corner. They're side by side still. Band is now in front. Seb takes it up on the backside. Band still ahead as they move their way through Snake. Oh, it's down to the wire here on this last lap. Gus Rules makes the overtake on Apollo at the back. Major Payne, there's a massive collision at the back. Major Payne's gone down. I would switch, but the battle between Seb and Band is a little bit too hot right now.
Gus and Payne had a spin in the chicane.
Okay, so had a little bit of an incident there. Last lap, there's going to be no result from it. Nut 0.2 behind. Hey, here comes Seb on the outside. They'll move up into Spoon. No, he falls back in line. Ben doing everything he can to hold off. The Mercedes going up on the inside now. Oh, what can the Renault do? He forced him a little bit off the track. Seb
Don't
still,
overtake him before the DRS line.
Seb still has him on the back stretch though. Now they're side by side. Bandcamp just under. They're still side by side. You can see the car. They're off.
Neither has DRS open.
Oh, Bandcamp loses out. What can Bandcamp do? It looks like Seb's done enough to win it. Great job there from the Mercedes. Seb, from the back of the grid, makes his way onto...
Oh, penalty.
No, the penalty.
Revo got third.
Wait a minute.
What? Oh, timing bug. It must have been. He's a minute down for some reason. Must be timing bug.
No way.
He's fifth now. Yeah, gotta be timing bug. Oh, what a drive.
Okay. So, we'll have to take a look. The stewards will have to take a look at that incident. What's happened there with Revo, of course. That can't be right. Matzoid, for now, Matzoid will sit on pole on the top of the podium. If we adjust for it, Revo would have came first, Matzoid second, Bandcamp third. What a drive from Seb. Unfortunate with penalties. I'm not sure exactly where he picked them up, but there were enough to put him. It's saying he's 11th. Yeah, I don't know.
He didn't get that many. He got hit by a timing bug.
Yeah,
this is going to be an absolute mess to sort this out. Friggin' hell, but great drive by Matt to pick up second.
That's a great drive from everyone. That is a great drive from everyone. What an insane race here at Japan. We saw a safety car, people. Last time we saw one of those at AFR was Tier 1 China.
So last time we saw that when the safety car's involved. Just throw so many spinners.
Man, okay. What a hectic last section. That battle between Seb and Band, easily one of the best we have seen so far this season. A great drive from Seb, unfortunately getting hit with whatever that bug was. We'll see if we can see anything here on this end screen. It should tell us what the timings are. So Revo doesn't even have any penalties, but it says he's 1 minute down.
He's finished outside the points, apparently.
That's going to be so hard to fix.
We'll have to look at our stream and see.
Oh, shrimp.
The finish.
Yes, you are correct. We did get one Tier 2 in Austria because of that. Because that safety car allowed me to catch back up to the grid. So you are correct. I do remember that. All right. So what a weird and eventful race. We can't tell you the specific results because we know that they're wrong. However, it was quite enjoyable. At least it was for me. So hopefully it was enjoyable for you guys. Now, don't go anywhere because, of course, we do have Tier 2 coming up next. So we're going to take a short break as the Tier 2 guys get ready. And we will see you right after.